The sun was brutal over the wide expanse of an open highway somewhere between Texas and nowhere. A cherry-red Mustang growled once, coughed, then died at the side of the road. Out stepped Daniel Carter, millionaire, CEO, and lifelong New Yorker, entirely out of place in his tailored gray suit now covered with roadside dust. He kicked the tire and muttered under his breath, shielding his eyes from the glare. He opened the hood with the same confidence he used to open boardroom doors, only to find a chaotic maze of metal and wires, clueless. From a distance came a soft squeak, rubber on gravel. A rusted old bicycle coasted into view, its front wheel slightly bent. Riding, it was a little girl, no more than 8, barefoot, sunburned and grinning. Her curly hair bounced in a messy ponytail. Her jeans were worn at the knees, and the dirt on her face looked more like war paint than filth. "You need help, mister?" she asked, hopping off with a confidence that made him blink. Daniel gave a sarcastic chuckle. "You know anything about cars?" Without another word, she tossed her bike to the side, pulled a dirty rag from her back pocket, and leaned over the engine like she owned it. Daniel stood frozen. The child moved with startling precision, fingers checking wires, tightening something here, flicking something there. It was like watching a tiny mechanic in a child's body. This wasn't just guessing. She knew what she was doing. "Where did you learn that?" he finally asked. "Papa taught me," she said without looking up, "before he wasn't around anymore." Her voice was light but firm, pain wrapped in strength. Daniel's smirk disappeared. The heat, the broken car, the dirt on his pants, all faded as something deeper took hold. He watched her like she was a ghost from a different life. She stepped back, wiped her hands, and closed the hood. "Try it now." He slid into the driver's seat, turned the key, and the engine purred to life. "You're kidding me," he muttered, stepping out. "You actually did it?" She shrugged like it was nothing, and then Daniel noticed it. On her tiny finger sat a delicate diamond ring, clearly vintage and far too fine for someone dressed in hand-me-downs. "Nice ring," he said carefully. She glanced at it, then smiled softly. "It was my mom's. She gave it to me after we sold everything else." Daniel looked down at her. She was dust and sunlight and resilience rolled into one tiny body. And suddenly, his world, of penthouses and private jets, felt hollow. "I'm Daniel," he said, kneeling to her level. "I'm Anvi, and I'm not from here either," she added proudly. "We came from India. Mom says new places are just adventures waiting to become home." Daniel blinked. "India?" "Yeah," she nodded. "Before Papa passed, he was a car mechanic back in Mumbai. When he died, Mom and I moved here. She works 2 jobs now, cleaning houses and nights at a diner." Daniel swallowed. She went on. "When we had to sell everything, the TV, furniture, even Mom's wedding necklace, she gave me this ring." She turned it gently in the light. She said, "This is who we are. Never forget it." Her words hit like a stone dropped in still water. Daniel didn't know what to say. This girl had no mansion, no millions, and yet there was something about her, something invincible. He reached for his wallet but paused. She hadn't asked for anything. Instead, he sat beside her on the curb. The silence between them filled with the buzz of crickets and something unspoken. Respect. "You're pretty amazing, you know that?" he said. She just grinned and hopped on her bike. "You should probably keep water in your car. Engines overheat, and so do people." She pedaled off, leaving dust and questions in her wake. Weeks later. A new Mustang, black and sleek, rolled into the same dusty roadside. This time, Daniel wasn't wearing a suit. Just jeans and a t-shirt, his eyes softer, his steps slower. Waiting beneath the tree was Anvi, her bike now painted sky blue, her hair braided, and her smile even wider. "You came back," she said, her face lighting up. "Of course I did," Daniel replied. "You fixed my car, and something else, too." He opened the passenger door. Out stepped a woman in her mid-30s, hair pulled back in a tidy bun, her sari replaced by a professional blouse and trousers. She stood tall, unsure, but proud. It was Mira, Anvi's mother. Daniel had found them, asked around town, spoken to diner staff, tracked them quietly. He offered Mira a job at his company, not out of pity, but respect. She was now working as an office assistant with fixed hours and proper benefits. She even got weekends off. Anvi ran up and hugged him. "Did you see? Mom only works one job now." Daniel smiled. "I did. And I hear she's really good at it." Mara smiled too, standing beside her daughter. "Thank you, Mr. Carter, but I think it was your heart that needed fixing more than the car." Daniel nodded, humbled. As they stood there in the warm orange light, he looked down at the ring on Anvi's finger. "You still wear it?" he asked. "Every day," she said proudly. Daniel reached into his pocket and handed her a small box. "For you." Anvi opened it and gasped. Inside was a silver locket. Simple but elegant, with space for 2 photos. "Your mom and dad," Daniel said softly. "You can keep them close, always." Anvi threw her arms around him again, laughing. "You're not so bad for a suit guy." He laughed, too. As the sun dipped low, painting the horizon in gold, the 3 of them sat on the hood of the new Mustang, talking, dreaming, and weaving their lives together. Months later. In a quiet New York office, a new plaque hung on the wall. Anvi's Fund, for the strength in small hands. Daniel had started it in her name, a non-profit helping children of immigrants, single mothers and kids from underprivileged backgrounds who showed brilliance and bravery. Each time he gave a speech, he told the same story. Once, a little girl with dirt on her face and a diamond on her finger reminded me what it meant to be human. I went looking for horsepower, but I found heart instead. Epilogue. In a modest house in Texas, Anvi sat by the window, sketching car engines and city skylines. Her mother worked from home now, managing projects online. And Daniel? He still called every Sunday. Not because she fixed his car, but because she changed his life.